What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the Implausible podcast. This is a special episode, and I'm here with
Leek,
Zevi.
overcooked garlic toast.
and we're gonna talk about. Stop. So this is a special episode, in honor of Kobe Bryant's birthday. I want to discuss his legacy, how he affected our lives, and just all the stuff that he influenced, all the people he influenced all over the world, and
like favorite moments, stuff like that.
yeah, iconic moments, good and bad. We're not gonna leave him out because he was the type of person that well, at least the way he was displayed, he was the type of person that wasn't really afraid to receive criticism. He kind of tuned out the noise. But let's start with you.
Garlic.
Yeah, we're gonna start with you because I have a lot to say and I want to give everybody an opportunity.
Alright, so as a fan of the team that was Kobe's biggest rival in his career,
Second biggest.
San Antonio Spurs.
Who's the second? Who's the first?
You already know who the first is.
Anyways, like I said, his biggest rival. I grew up hating Kobe Bryant. Not the person, just the player, because I feel that's the greatest compliment you could ever give to opposing players, that you don't like them. So I've watched plenty of playoff series where Kobe Bryant has killed, San Antonio in numerous ways. I mean, whether it's dunking on Tim Duncan, hitting the jumper over Manu, cooking Bruce Bowen. I mean, I've witnessed a lot of them. So I grew up with a huge dislike of him. But as I started seeing his decline, I learned to appreciate how he was in his prime. So, Mamba forever.
Wow. I don't even know what to say to that. But my actual I'm gonna be honest, he kind of got me into basketball, actually into basketball. The first game I've ever seen was the 2001 finals with AI and Kobe Bryant.
First game ever or first game with Kobe?
First game I ever seen is with Kobe Bryant and AI. My brother's favorite player was Kobe Bryant, and my favorite player was AI. I was like, I'm opposing, right? So I'm like, yeah, the Sixers gonna win. Little I know, I didn't even know they had Shaq, which was bad. That's how you know I didn't watch sports at the time, right? So I'm watching, I'm like, yeah, and they had that one win, and AI went off. And then Kobe and Shaq just demolished the Sixers, and then I was like, all right, let me just start watching football. So, I mean, a few years later, I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm starting to play basketball now. Let me start watching basketball again, right? And it's around 07, 08. And this is around the time they were playing the Celtics, right? So I'm like, yeah, man. Let's see what he got, right? So then this is when Shaq was going. I found out, oh shoot, Shaq actually played with him. Shaq was dominant. He was dominant. They were a great duo, But I didn't really have the like for Kobe Bryant yet. So obviously, you know what happened. They played the Celtics. They lost. I'm like, dang, what happened to his fourth ring? He can't win without Shaq, huh? So the following year, they played the Celtics, right? And
Played the Magic.
Yeah, the year after.
Oh, my fault. My apologies. My apologies. They played the Magic.
Should have been Denver.
Should have been who?
Denver that played the Magic.
All right, so they played the Magic, right? and Dwight Howard, if y'all remember him, he was a superstar. And what? Was he not a superstar in Magic? Okay. He was a superstar, right? He was one of the defensive players of the year. Blah blah blah.
The same thing.
They played, and there was a particular play that I remember that changed my mindset on basketball and changed the way I view Kobe Bryant, right? So Kobe got the ball, he's coming around on the left wing, and he crossed somebody and dunked on Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard's 6'10". He's 6'10". He can jump out the ceiling.
6'10 and a half.
He can jump out the ceiling. And he dunked on him. I'm like, yo, I really wish I could do that. And like later on, like in middle school, every time you shoot a paper ball or jump shot, it's Kobe. Every time, Kobe. And like the next time they played the Celtics, they won. I mean, the game was like low scoring, but like if you see the shots that this man made with three defenders, I'm like, yo, man, Kobe's selfish as heck, man. Like, no, you don't even pass the ball. And then like later on, like I started playing myself. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make sure I'm not gonna be nothing like that. I'm gonna pass the ball and everything, right? So I was doing that, right? I was passing the ball. I was, letting everybody else get a chance to score, and I wasn't getting no time. I
just want to cut that off. You said you do what with the basketball?
I was passing the ball. When I was in like middle school, like early high school, I was passing the ball a lot, giving everybody else an opportunity.
Can I ask what changed?
You gonna see. The viewers don't know. So like, I was passing the ball, giving everybody else a chance, right? And then I would run, hoping like maybe to get it back, consistently while I was scoring, right? But I never got it back. I'm like, all right, you know what? I want to see what makes Kobe so unguardable. And then there was like a news report or something on ESPN, whatever, saying that is it true that Kobe's like the hardest working player ever? I'm like, come on, it's Michael Jordan. Like, what are you talking about? Because everybody heard Michael Jordan was basically like a basketball stereotype. So everybody, you think basketball, best player, Michael Jordan, hardest working player, Michael Jordan.
I think Patty Mills, but we can go back to it.
Hardest working player, Michael Jordan. So, I'm wondering, like, what are you talking about with Kobe, right? So I see a picture of this man with a cast shooting with his left hand, doing form shots with his left hand. And I'm like, yo, what the heck? I didn't even know what form shots were at that time. I know now. So I'm like, how does he like obsess so much over this game? And I was like, and he would talk about like passion, and that's when I realized what that word meant. So I was like, all right. So I dropped like, I used to be like big chubby, like you think I'm chubby now. I was like big chubby like that, right? So I'm like, you know what? Let me get into track. Let me do other sports because that's what Kobe did, right? And I was really working on basketball, and I was shooting, was doing all that stuff, and I actually decided, you know what? Let me try to up my game. So I started taking more shots. I started practicing more, and I started making some, and there was some that I missed. But at the end of the day, I was happy because at least I got opportunity to take my shot. I got opportunity to shoot my shot. You feel me? So later on in my life, things happen. Started playing a little bit in college, but I got hurt, so I never really got to make the team. But I played against them before. I played against some All-Americans and stuff. I got whooped. I'm not gonna lie. I've got whooped a few times, but I also won a few. And it's because,
What would your record be if?
I'd say about 4-10. That's being generous for myself. They probably beat me way more times than 10 times. But they're all Americans. I'm just a regular bull that just works hard. And like I asked one of them, his name is Will. I asked one of them to train me. And like I worked with him, and I got close to dunking, but I never really grabbed the rim and did it. But I got good enough for them to respect my game enough. And like I started to realize that Kobe had a true passion and true love for the game. And that's when I started to like respect him and like know him more.
Alright. I guess I would say similar to my friend Garlic, what was it, garlic toast?
Overcooked garlic toast.
Overcooked garlic toast. Similar to him, I I grew up hating Kobe. Like I was late to the basketball game. I feel like the first game I ever watched was the '08 finals with Boston versus Lakers. All my friends in middle school, I was in middle school around this time. All my friends in middle school, they was hyping Kobe up. They was like, "Oh, Kobe the best, Kobe this, Kobe that." So I'm like, who is this? Who is this man? Right. So me, I like to root for the underdog. So I automatically rooted for the Celtics. And when I watched the game so I could talk about it when I see my friends. And that's how Paul Pierce became one of my favorite players. I forgot which game it was, but he was cooking that game, and I think they won that game. So, but that rivalry that they had made me hate Kobe as a player, but watching him throughout from that point on made me respect his game. And yeah, it just, especially around that time growing up, Kobe was like a household name. Like Aaron mentioned before, you roll up a paper ball, you shoot it, you yell Kobe. You on the court, everybody doing moves like Kobe. All that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I learned to appreciate his game, but every time he faced my team, I hated him. I would say my favorite moment of Kobe, not to be cliche, but it was his last game when he dropped 60. And only because it took his last game to make me realize that, like, it's his last game. Like, this is the last time I'm going to see him play. And the fact that he dropped 60 his last game, especially at that time, because he wasn't the Kobe that we all knew at that time, due to injuries and age and all of that. So it made me realize, like, this is the last game. And that's how I started to accept and respect other players that I hated, like LeBron. Because eventually, his last game is going to...
For those of y'all who know, this is the biggest LeBron hater you ever met.
Yeah.
Can't wait for that to happen.
Well, eventually his last game is going to come. And that would be a moment I feel like most people, except for you, will be like, damn, like, this is really his.
I'm going to be like, get off the court.
But yeah, Kobe was that guy, man. I know few people that worked as hard as he did. And he was just that guy.
Alright, for me, I'll say my favorite Kobe moment was when he told Vanessa that she wasn't shooting in the gym with him. Nah, let me stop playing. But I would say my favorite moment actually is a small little moment, but Kobe was facing the Magic, and him and Matt Barnes had some beef. There was nothing that had to do with scoring performance. It just showed that he's that guy. He's that guy on the court. They had some beef. They was bumping and everything, and then Matt Barnes had to inbound the ball, and he said to Kobe, and Kobe looked at him like, I dare you. Go ahead. Because we scrap right here. And that was it. That's my favorite Kobe moment. I was like, yo, this man's tough. But I started learning more about Kobe. I'll say like, I want to say 09, honestly. Only because like I was into basketball at that time, and that's when he faced my man Smello in the Western Conference Finals, and just demolish Denver's poor defense.
With Melo Gardner.
Shush. They had Dante Jones on them. Stop playing.
That's not what the ASB.
They had Dante Jones. But yeah, that was when I started learning about Kobe. Unlike y'all, I didn't hate him for beating my team. I just thought that he was just a really great player. So, like, I wasn't like a Kobe fan, like Kobe was my favorite player type thing. But he was more of I appreciate his game. I know that he's top 3 all time, top 5. I mean, top 2 shooting guard. Him and Michael Jordan is still a battle. But yeah, I never had any hate for Kobe. All love. Mamba forever.
Mamba forever.
Mamba forever.
I guess I go off my favorite. My favorite Kobe game, and I'm probably in the minority around other people, but I think this is Kobe's greatest game was when he dropped 62 on the Mavericks in 3 quarters. And I think it was better than the Toronto game, even though he scored 19 points. 19 points left. Less. I think it was because it was most impressive because everybody remembers the Mavericks in the 2000s. They were known for that high-flying offense, putting up 110 on anybody they played against. And Kobe, by himself in the 3 quarters, outscored them. I think it was like 62-61 or 62-60. And after I read this later, and he said he would sit out the 3rd quarter, and they said, I forgot who the coach was for the Lakers at the time, but he said, "Oh, you want to go back in, or
Phil
you want to
Jackson?
go?" Huh?
Phil Jackson.
No, it might have been D'Antoni.
But he said, "No, do you want to go back in and go for the Lakers scoring record of 72 or something like that?" And Kobe said, "It's cool. I'll get it again some other time." And then it was funny because the very next month is when he scored the 81. So I find that very impressive as anyone.
Glad you mentioned that. That is my favorite moment because there were people that were saying, "Oh, that's impressive."
You mean that game or the 81?
The 81 was my favorite moment. Like people were saying, "Oh man, this man definitely a jack now, right?" All right. So imagine you trying to win a game, right? You out here doing everything you can, and the second leader scorer has 11 points. I just want you to really think about you dropping about 50 something, and maybe almost the first half, and the second leader scored at 11. What are you supposed to do?
Pass it to the 11.
No, score!
Help
He
your
dropped
teammates.
81. First of all, he dropped 81. Then there was a commercial with him and Jalen Rose.
Oh, yeah.
Jalen.
Oh no. Hey Cole, how you doing? How retirement treating you?
It's great, man. It's great. Just, a little writing, a little investing.
Nice. So I don't know if you saw the thing on Twitter about your statue.
I don't pay attention to that stuff.
Yeah, I figured that. Me either.
A drink, Mr. Bryant?
Yeah, I'll have a vodka martini.
How many olives would you like?
81.
Really?
Nah, man, I'm just playing. Just 2. Joke for him. He gets it.
People say it was cocky, but it's like when you love what you do, like it doesn't matter what anybody says, as long as you enjoy yourself doing what you do, as long as you achieve the goals that you want to achieve, like nobody can stop you. And he became over time like one of my favorites, like as in like gold prospect favorites, and like I respected him, and I wanted to meet him, but it didn't happen that way. But I'm glad to have been able to see him play and to seeing him train other players like Jason Tatum, Kawhi, Chris Paul, Paul George, DeRozan. He's given back, and he didn't even have to join like the one of the commentators and stuff like that.
No amount of training can save him.
So
I also want to give.
You lucky.
I also want to show some respect to Gigi and the other people that died in the accident.
yes,
A lot of people, I've seen a lot of people only mention Kobe and Gigi, but nobody shows respect. Well, not enough respect is shown to the other people who passed away. So, just giving this moment to give our condolences to those families and those people.
I guess I wanted to add on to another one of my favorite moments. It wasn't even basketball related, but it was around 09, 2010, something like that. When they came out with the Kobe and LeBron puppet commercials.
yeah.
And I used to like, and I felt like that showed like a more personable side of Kobe versus the one we see on the court where he seemed like he hates everybody. So and the commercials were very entertaining. And I remember, because that was supposed to be like the lead up between LeBron and Kobe in the finals.
And it never
That
happened.
unfortunately never happened.
Never. I wonder why. LeBron wasn't ready. Wasn't ready for the GOAT.
So unfortunately, we never got to witness that.
Melo had to face the GOAT.
Who y'all think would have won?
Melo.
At that time.
At that
You
time.
said at that time?
At that time, yeah.
At that time, I would have said the Lakers. Did you say
Yeah.
Melo? at that time, the teams were unfairly balanced, so I would say Kobe would have won. But I think it would have been very entertaining because LeBron would have gave him,
Yeah.
his everything.
Wait, they lost to the Magic that year, right? Was it the Magic?
Yeah,
Yeah, and that's when. Yeah.
Magic.
they lost to the Magic in Boston. Yeah. That was.
No,
And that time
the
span.
Magic. But this isn't about him.
It's too bad we never got to see that finals. We never got to see, sadly, a finals with Kobe versus a perimeter player on his own level. Offense to Paul Pierce.
Why? Like he didn't win the first time they met him.
So I wish that's a finals I wish I would have seen Kobe versus LeBron.
That would have been amazing. I like though.
Never got to see.
Any last thoughts, comments, moments?
He trained Jordan Clarkson well.
Okay.
All right, so
He did.
like Malik said, I want to emphasize, definitely give respect to all the victims involved. This one, like the death kind of hit more because he died on my mother's birthday, so I was like happy and sad at the same time. So like now,
Not to cut you off, but it's funny because he shares my mom's birthday.
26th January.
No, like his birthday.
Oh, August
Yeah.
20. Okay, yeah, but it's the numbers just matched up like so close, and it hit home a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. So prayers to the families again. Hope he enjoy his next birthday, and we're gonna take about 8 seconds or 24 seconds to just give silence.
Let me give 24. Like how they did in the NBA with the shot clock.
Yeah, just remember, next time y'all shoot a ball in the trash, yell Kobe.
Yeah, I see y'all nowadays. These young kids nowadays, they be yelling Steph and all that. Steph is cool. I respect Steph, but none of that. We keeping Kobe forever.